Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 30 running back rankings for week 7. Richard, you ready?
Let's do it.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, before we get started, Richard, tell me how you did on last week's rankings.
Okay, if we take out Jonathan Taylor and Cam Akers, who did not play, we hit on 22 of 28 for running backs. So boom, boom, boom. Another solid week.
Let's try to keep that rolling. Before we get started, let me just explain what you should expect in our video. Richard's going to give his rankings. I'm going to use the stat machine to see if you agree or disagree with each of his rankings. And then this should help you set up your own lineups. All right, Richard, line them up.
Okay, before we start, let's remember that the Bills, the Vikings, the Eagles, and the Rams are on byes in week 7. And number 1, we have Austin Eckler home against Seattle. Seattle has been gashed by numerous running backs this season. And if you saw that Monday night game, Eckler gets a lot of usage. The word about here is Justin Herbert, who has been a little subpar in recent weeks. But Eckler gets the usage, and Eckler is a dynamo. And number 2, Saquon Barkley at Jacksonville. Decent matchup. Saquon has been strong all season. The Giants are 5-1. And number 3, Nick Chubb at Baltimore. Again, we know that Baltimore defense has been susceptible. And Nick Chubb gets the touches and makes things happen. And number 4, Derrick Henry home against Indianapolis. That Indianapolis defense is tough, but Henry, it doesn't matter. They just keep giving him the ball. Eventually he'll break one. And number 5, Ramondre Stevenson, home against Chicago. We thought Stevenson was going to have a big week last week, and we were correct. And we expect another big week. Belichick likes to give him the ball, especially now that Dameon Harris is hurt. And number 6, Christian McCaffrey, home against Tampa Bay. McCaffrey's been solid. He's been solid all season, still healthy. The problem with Christian McCaffrey now is he could be traded. There's a lot of uncertainty surrounding him, and that Carolina offense is horrendous. And number 7, Jonathan Taylor at Tennessee. Jonathan Taylor, consensus #1 running back, and now we wonder about him at number 7. We will see what he does. Is he healthy? Can he make things happen? Matt Ryan certainly does not help. And number 8, Josh Jacobs, home against Houston. Josh keeps giving Josh the ball over and over. The Raiders are 1-4. And yeah, forget Devontae Adams and Darren Waller. Give the ball to Josh Jacobs. But we got to rank him high because it keeps happening. And number 9, Alvin Kamara at Arizona. Kamara's had a couple of strong weeks. I expect the trend to continue. The issue has been, who is the quarterback? Dalton doesn't help much. Is Jameis Winston healthy? A healthy Jameis Winston definitely improves the running game. And of course, you have Taysom Hill vulturing rushing touchdown. And number 10, Leonard Fournette at Carolina. Leonard Fournette has been steady all season, just like last season. Brady looks for him in the passing game, and he throws a lot of dump-off passes, so all bodes well for Leonard. And number 11, Kenneth Walker at the LA Chargers. We foretold the rise of Kenneth Walker, especially after Penny went down. He had a big week last week. We expect that trend to continue in that red-hot Seattle offense. And number 12, Breece Hall at Denver. Okay, Denver, tough run defense. We saw it against the Chargers. Tough defense in general. Pat Surtain looks fantastic at cornerback. But Breece Hall has been dynamic. Now, the problem with Breece Hall is Zach Wilson. We still don't know what we're getting. He has not looked great, but the Jets are winning on the strength of Breece Hall, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And number 13, Joe Mixon, home against Atlanta. Mixon has not looked good. He's just part of an offense that scores a lot of points, and he'll get a touchdown here and there, but he has not looked good. He is definitely a step slower than he's been in the past. I'm not certain he's 100%. And number 14, Raheem Mostert, who is home against Pittsburgh. He had a rough week 6, mainly because Dolphins trailed for most of that game and had to pass a lot. But I think Mostert will have plenty of opportunity against Pittsburgh, and he is explosive. And number 15, Aaron Jones at Washington. What is going on with that offense in Green Bay? We don't know. Aaron Jones has been a borderline top 30 running back in results. I have to put him somewhere in the middle, but he is fading. And number 16, Najee Harris at Miami. Tough matchup. The Dolphins have been good against the run, but Najee Harris gets the carries, gets touches, gets used, scored a touchdown in week 6. We'll keep him in the top 20. And number 17, Ezekiel Elliott, home against Detroit. Same thing we just said about Najee Harris applies to Elliott, but Elliott also has a great matchup. So you would think we would rank him higher, but Pollard has been getting a lot of touches in recent weeks. And number 18, Dameon Pierce at Las Vegas. It's a decent matchup. Pierce has been good, has produced when given the opportunities, but that Houston offense, not very good. And number 19, Jeff Wilson Jr., home against Kansas City. He had a dud of a week 6. We expect him to rebound. The only issue can be if Kansas City jumps out early and they have to pass often. Apparently, Wilson is not part of that passing game. And number 20, welcome back, DeAndre Swift, who will be at Dallas. Tough defensive matchup, but we expect Detroit to pass a lot this game, and Swift is good out of the backfield. And number 21, Brian Robinson, home against Green Bay. What a great story Brian Robinson is. Shot just before the season started, shot in his leg. Last week, had a decent week. Was in the top 30. We expect that trend to continue. He looks like the new number 1 running back in Washington. And number 22, David Montgomery at New England. Montgomery also gets usage. They prefer him over Khalil Herbert because he's a tougher back, more effort. I'm not sure. I like Khalil Herbert personally, but they love David Montgomery in Chicago. And number 23, Clyde Edwards-Helaire at San Francisco. Edwards-Helaire, very touchdown dependent, but he's in the right offense, an offense that scores a lot, so he gets to be in the top 30. Number 24, Eno Benjamin at New Orleans. Eno is the number 1 running back right now in Arizona. It's a decent offense. Didn't do much in week 6, did just enough to make our rankings. We'll see how he does. But one more not so good week, and he might not be in our top 30 any longer. At 25, Tony Pollard, home against Detroit. It's a good matchup. I think there's going to be plenty for both Ezekiel and Pollard to eat. At number 26, James Robinson, home against the New York Giants. Robinson has been trending down, but he's the best of what we have left. And he did make the top 30 in week 6, so we'll include him. And
Hold on. How come you have Robinson over ETN? I know it's just a little bit more, but
because Etienne hasn't been great all season. I mean, we can talk about it further when I get to Etienne. But for now, I'm going to give James Robinson like the historical benefit here. But yes, Etienne can easily be overtaking him. And number 27, Kareem Hunt will be at Baltimore. Again, Kareem Hunt was awful in week 6, hasn't produced much all season, except maybe I think week 1. And he's hard to trust, but he's the best of what we have left. And number 28, Travis Etienne, home against the Giants. Both James Robinson and Etienne made the top 30 in week 6. So we're including them both in week 7. Again, they're the best of what we have left. It isn't great. And number 29, A.J. Dillon at Washington. A.J. Dillon has been a big letdown all season, but just seems to make top 30s, by the skin of his teeth, week after week. So we include him. And number 30, we have Kenyan Drake, home against Cleveland. If J.K. Dobbins doesn't play, he missed that entire second half in week 6. If he's injured, we saw what Kenyan Drake can do. We know that Baltimore offense can put up points, so why not?
All right, let's just take a look at some of the rankings from some other people. You have Jonathan Taylor at 7. Some people have him at 19.
Yeah, because people don't trust him. They don't know if he's 100%. His usage has been sporadic, but he's just too good. He's just too good. I don't want to drop him lower than 7. Okay,
you got Brian Robinson. You got him at 21. Some other people have him 27.
Yeah, Brian Robinson. I mean, it's the Commanders' offense. Now they're going to be with Taylor Heineke leading them. I really don't think there's a huge drop off. I think Carson Wentz is overrated. So I think Robinson will do better week after week.
Okay, and lastly, some people don't even rate Dillon and Drake. I know that they're bottom feeders. You're just gambling, but
well, I wouldn't say bottom feeders, but yeah, they're in the bottom of the top 30. They're fringe top 30 running backs. Yes, I'm Kenyan Drake. I'm using because he had a great week 6. So we'll see if that momentum continues. And A.J. Dillon, he gets touches. He gets his touches, and he does just enough. He made the top 30 this past week. So
all right. Well, thanks for coming on here and sharing your top 30 running back rankings for week 7. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Richard, any other thing to add?
Good luck. Good luck in week 7.
Those fantasy good fellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Those fantasy good fellas.